Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Beauty of Grey. Hello, Michelle.
Hello.
Hello, Jake.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, darling.
Like,
So happy to
slightly
see you.
I know, she's like, hello. And you're like, hello.
So for today's episode, we're going to pick up where we left off in our glamour magic because our girl Michelle was doing a lot of magic tricks and she kept
Technical
disappearing on us.
difficulties.
So, Michelle, please
Yes.
tell us about glamour magic, maybe some of the things that you do, and maybe some tips and tricks.
Okay. So, I mean, we already kind of touched on like what glamour magic is and all that fun stuff. The stuff
But for
that,
someone
like,
who didn't listen to the previous episode,
yes,
real quickly.
I got that there.
And if you didn't listen to the previous episode,
Michelle,
log
excuse
off.
you.
I know you should listen to the previous episode.
Yeah, get off. Don't listen.
I know. Like, God.
Sorry, I apologize.
Anyway, so essentially glamour magic is using you can use some tools, some incantations, some little things to appear more glamorous. It's honestly it comes from a lot of it comes from within. It's a lot of confidence based, but it's when it's the same thing with like with any type of spell work where you want to have confidence behind the spell. So bringing in that like you want to look a little extra oomph that day. You can do a little spell, a little glamour spell, using some of the tools that you use on a regular basis in terms of like makeup or like your hairbrush or something, to add a little extra confidence or a little bit of extra beauty if you got like a hot date or something. um, but basically like this stuff that I do with that, I will charm and or enchant the tools that I use. I will have certain makeup sit with especially like rose quartz, and certain herbs and things like that. Like I would honestly, like, this is a totally side note thing, but I would love to have um my own like makeup line one day that is all of that infused with
Yes, I
just
would
like
love that.
herbs and crystals and all of that type of stuff. Just because like I feel like it's just an added glamour effect for people.
I love that
Adding
idea.
that spiritual side of things, like just so it's like, oh, your glamour magic is already built in. Well done.
Yeah.
But like I use like my hairbrush is like so I used to be a cosmetologist. So beauty and presenting myself has always been very important to me. But ever since I was a kid, like I believe I kind of talked about this in the last episode before I disappeared.
Poof, she's gone.
I had a spell book for like self-love spells, and a lot of it was about glamour magic. And it's telling you how to do ritual baths. And so like if you had a date, to certain ritual baths that you can take before you would go out for confidence and to feel like your best. And same thing, like you can do it with your clothing. You can like lay out your clothes and put crystals on your clothes and like and have what's the word I'm looking for? In like, I keep on want to say enchant because it just feels so like but put your intention into how you want to feel that day. Same thing like if you don't have a hot date, if you go to, you're going for a job interview, or if you have a big day at work and you need to feel like your best, doing a little added spell work to make you feel good, and to give you, and it's like, look, it's not like in the craft where you can just kind of be like, whoo,
yes,
I'm
it
done.
is. Don't
Yay.
lie.
I'm sorry. Honestly, I wish it was. It would be great. Like, but like, there's a reason why we have, like where we have hair color, and we have all these things that we can do, but we can put our intention into those things, to make our appearance seem more magical. I feel like I'm not explaining it
What
perfectly
do
because
you guys
I do it like on a daily
yeah,
basis. Like it's
it sounds
literally all
like
the
it's
time.
part of like almost like your spiritual hygiene practice. Like
It is.
this
It
is
really is.
I set this intention, I put in this spell work, and this is how I
Mhm.
want to present myself to the world. And I want people to kind of feel that magic of myself.
Yeah. Well, that's like I use because like that's what I do in order to get ready for my day. It's not just a where a lot of people feel like doing their hair and makeup is like a necessity.
Yeah.
It
Or
is
like a
that is
chore.
how yes, like I that's how I relax myself. That's how
Aw.
I zero in where it's like
Yes.
I don't care where because like I I feel very fortunate enough to where I've gotten to a place in my life to where I don't feel like I need to look a certain way for
Right.
other people. I purely just do it for me. But it's still nice when people are like, "Girl, you look good today," and I'm like,
Girl.
"I did a little extra glamour magic today, thanks."
I mean, it sounds like
Mhm.
it's almost like a meditative practice.
It is. It
I love
definitely
that.
is. For me, it definitely is. Because like just doing like it is my zen. Doing my makeup especially is my zen.
Hmm.
That's why like I hate rushing my makeup. Like I can do this in 3 minutes, but like I don't want to. I want to
Yeah.
sit there for a half hour to an hour and just
Take your
play.
time, and that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like even because when you're sitting there and you're doing your makeup and you're setting those intentions of what you want and you're thinking about what you
Hmm.
want and you're meditating on that, it completely changes the whole look of what you're doing. You'll notice that like, that eyeliner is a little bit more like stabby and like, like your highlighter like makes you glow a little bit more.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Like it's like, like that curl will come out really good. Like it's just when you have that intention,
Yeah.
um, I feel like it completely changes the game.
That's beautiful. Any like, do you guys have any books that you might recommend that or is this something you just kind of learned along the way? Like, are there any books that you read for glamour magic or anything like online, maybe a YouTube person or
Well,
Honestly,
for me, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
no, you go ahead. My brain isn't.
I,
I didn't finish the thought even yet.
I, well, no, I was just gonna say that like a lot of it has been just what I've learned along the way, but I
Mhm.
Mhm.
still have that little spell book. I think
Aw.
the brand is Witch's Brew. And it's literally just it's love spells, but they're self-love spells.
Mhm.
Is it
They're
like a
not
deep
to
red
like
book?
yes, it's a little tiny book.
Yes, I know what
Yes.
book you're talking about.
I bought this probably when I was like 10 or 11 years old,
Mhm.
along with the peace one.
Hmm.
And I remember like because I was I don't know, I think we were like in Maine or something with my family. And I go up to my mom and I'm like, these are what I want. And she's like, are you sure? Like, yep, nope, this is totally what I want.
Aw.
And she's like, okay, I guess we're getting our Roman Catholic daughter spell books.
Amen. I mean, thank goodness
So
your family was like open to you doing that, you
yeah,
know.
oh yeah, no, my parents didn't. They were like, whatever, as long as you're not hurting anything, have fun. Like, yeah.
One of the books, and maybe it's not necessarily glamour magic, but I like it's called Bring Out the Magic in Your Mind, and it's by
Hmm.
Al Koran. And he talks about like the magic of charms and mascots, the magic of bright impressions, the magic of laughter, the magic of color, the magic of flowers, and
Hmm.
like kind of how to like set the intentions for, what you want to achieve in your life. And he's got it's a really interesting book. I do like that book a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Um, I remember my first like unofficial way of using glamour magic when I didn't even necessarily mean to was I remember. Has anybody bought like the tarot Bible before? That short little white book. It's thick,
I know what you're
um,
talking about.
white
Yeah.
and green. So that was actually like kind of a cute book for just as far as giving you like a really baseline meaning for all the
Mhm.
different cards. But there was a lot of fun little like interwoven chapters in there. Like one was talking about path working in the cards, like so you could take the cards, let's say the moon, if you wanted to tap into your intuition, or the high priestess,
Mhm.
and that you could charge your crystals with those cards and bring them with you
Mm.
throughout the day. And I think it might have been in that book, or maybe I found it from another person, but somebody was talking about taking the card that you wanted to embody that day, holding
Mhm.
it in your hand, kind of just imagining yourself stepping into the card and almost like wearing it like an outfit, you know? So
Yeah, I love
wearing
that.
wearing that Nine of Pentacles, like for your
Aw.
job interview, or wearing your Ace of Wands for, maybe a first date, something
Yeah,
like that. So I started to kind of do that first. And
That's a
then
great idea.
it
funny
is.
enough, I had like a really like, I don't know, like when you're like a teenager, you like, I don't know, whatever. It was just maybe like just a oblong thought that it kind of started as. But I remember being in science class and we were learning about light theory, so like color theory and how we could see certain patterns of
Mhm.
light, certain things.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was just watching a video like at that same period of time about like sigil magic. And one of the
Yes.
witches that I was learning from, she practices chaos magic, and a lot of that is working in the astral plane and the
Hmm.
mental imagery plane. So she was talking about like creating your own astral altars or creating sigils in your mind that people can't see but are very real life.
Hmm.
So for me, I was really into creating sigils that were almost kind of wrapped around your body. People couldn't see
Hmm.
them, but they were perceiving them and they were
Yeah.
engaging with them,
Yes.
just like the layers of light and the layers of color that we see every day that we can't perceive.
Right.
So
Hmm.
it kind of snuck its way into my periphery as like a scientific thing, almost like,
That's
oh,
cool.
we really could embody this in a certain way, and like, and it can be very real even though people can't see it, like, and
Yeah,
I thought that that was a really fun that was a really fun
absolutely.
thought that kind of got me to where I am now with it.
That's
So
really cool that
I
how science
yeah,
class kind of
brought you into that. Yeah.
listen,
I love
witchcraft
that you
is science. We're just not ready
it
to talk
100%.
about
is.
that.
One it
Absolutely
is.
is.
Okay,
It
listen,
is.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
God, Rachel. But Jake, I gotta say, like, I love that you brought that up because like that I completely like my mind just kind of went because that's what it, like so when I'm because I'm a weirdo, but when I'm doing
No,
specifically
you're
my
not.
concealer, I don't know why. But like, oh no, I fully embrace the weirdness. It's fine.
You're just you.
It's fine. We're good. But like I with my concealer especially, just because I use the like I like the when it's a doe foot thing. I'm a weird. That's the thing. I'm a weird. Okay. Um, but I will use it to draw on either runes or like sigils of my own.
Yes.
Hmm.
To like and it just it that like gives me that added, especially too if I need an extra like veil of protection.
Hmm.
I will also do that with my perfume.
Hmm.
I will spray it onto my fingers and do it that way.
Hmm.
Doing sigils like that is like oh my god, I'm Jake, I'm so happy that you brought that up because I completely forgot about it. Like that it's something that like doing that with your makeup like because you can create your own sigils. You don't need to go and find like oh there are all these beauty sigils. Like yes, you can go do that if you want to,
Hmm.
but creating your own sigils and using your makeup to that effect, like and even if it's just like to put on, you're throwing on your translucent powder, you got to put it all over your face, but you just do a quick little thing.
Hmm.
It makes all the difference.
I know. I love it. We should talk about sigils at some point in the future.
We absolutely need to. I love sigils. I have
This
them everywhere.
they're just so awesome. They're so awesome. I'm so grateful that I learned about them
Yeah.
back in my day, and
Back
and
in
that I
my
just fell in
day.
love with
Back when
them.
I was still in the womb. So anything else you guys want to add about glamour magic? And we'll make sure on our next episode we'll talk about sigils.
um No. Well, yes. Okay, yes. So glamour magic, again, just remember, like we're talking about, a lot of different things here, perceiving yourself as beautiful, confident, strong, all of those things. And I just remember hearing stories about, witches that would work, also real life human beings. So a lot of women who would be women of the night and would have to be left to their own devices at night, and they were working
Mhm.
with different suitors. A lot of them did use witchcraft, and a lot of them did use glamour magic to be portrayed as these fierce women that
Yes.
should be feared and that should be avoided, so that people,
Hmm.
so that men specifically would not try to bother them or harm them or kind of
Hmm.
interfere with their days, while they're just trying to work and keep a living. So glamour magic can also be really fiercely used as a protection tool too.
Nice.
Just kind of having your own armament and also changing the way that people feel that they can perceive you and that they can engage you. So you can absolutely play around with it, and you can absolutely use it as a way of creating some real profound change. Let's say, you are
Yes.
in a work environment that you're not feeling respected, or you're not feeling
Mm,
like people are taking you seriously. You
true.
can absolutely use glamour magic for that lens too. Um, so like all of us say, like it really is about being very creative, and that's what witchcraft really is of course following tools, using tools, or maybe going off of recipes, things like that, but really using your creativity and listening to what your intuition tells you, because that's how new practices are created, that's how new traditions are
Absolutely.
created,
I love that.
Yeah.
Anything else,
Um,
Michelle?
I would just one thing I would recommend if anybody really wants to kind of practice glamour magic, something really simple and really easy is that while you're doing your hair or your makeup or you're getting dressed, you're saying those affirmations to yourself. Like
Mm,
you're like, if you're putting that little highlighter on the tip of your nose and you're just like, my nose is freaking badass. I fucking love my nose. Like things like that. Like it really like boosts
yeah.
your confidence up that way.
Yeah.
Because like the more you speak it into existence, the more others are going to perceive that and
I
they're
love
going
that.
to see that confidence.
So true.
So it's definitely like yes, it is spell work, it is crystals, it is sigils, it is all of that, but it's also like what I first said, like it comes from within.
Hmm.
It really does, because I mean like because there could be every witch out there, like yeah, they can be doing glamour magic every single day of their lives, and if they're a horrible person, that's going to come out at some point. It's
Yes.
going to, like, you're gonna see it in their, even they're like, oh my god, she's gorgeous, and then eventually you're like, huh. Like,
You're
what
right.
is
It's
going
true.
on?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. That's such a good
So
point.
Hmm.
but
Well, on
anyway,
that note, for all those terrible people,
just don't be a terrible person.
just kidding. We love everyone. We love
We
everyone.
do.
Send them love and compassion. All right. Well, everyone, have a great day. Bye, Jake. Bye, Michelle.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.